And good afternoon. Once again, I'd like to thank you all for giving up your lunch and some time to help us with some industry things that we really need to get out to the state. It's a very important process that we're in right now, especially going into the CLNAs, which we'll be having those meetings in January and February. But this allows us to talk to the schools, let them know what industry is actually needing from you, directly from you. And I think that that's probably one of the most important things. My name is John Gabaldon. I do work for New Mexico Public Education Department, part of the College and Career Readiness Bureau. I am a retired math teacher and engineering teacher. That was 26 years of education for me. I started with PED in April, and I'm having a great time. This is one of the greatest initiatives I think that we're really taking on. So what I would like to do is let everybody introduce themselves so that we kind of get acquainted with each other. And I'll just go down the list the way I see you in the order of my screen. So Jennifer, if you'd introduce yourself.
Good afternoon. Thank you, John. Jennifer Heist Trujillo. I am in Belen, New Mexico, manufacturing company of Semco. Been with the business pretty much all my life because we're actually a family-owned business, but I have a mining engineering degree background.
Wow, cool. Sarah?
I am in Clovis, New Mexico. I work for Plateau. I'm the HR manager here, and we're a telecommunications company.
Great, welcome. And I'm Gil, did I say that right?
We'll go with Gil.
Oh, Gil, okay.
Thank you. My name is Gil Mares. I'm a graduate from CNM from machining, physics, and soon geology.
Wow.
So I've gone down that pipeline, government contractor at this point. Been doing that for quite some time. So I've done electronics and machining, and looking for both of those in our trade. Great.
This will be a great place for you to get that voice out. Thank you. Scott Hopkins.
Hi, everyone. My name is Scott Hopkins. I'm from the National Electrical Contractors Association. I'm actually a regional field rep. I'm based out of Oklahoma City, but I service the New Mexico area. There's some other people on this call that are in the other breakout rooms that are actually based out of New Mexico, and I was just kind of sitting in to kind of drink it all in.
Welcome. That's great. Jim?
Yeah, hi. Sorry, I didn't turn my camera on. I'm trying to multitask in the office. Jim Ed Baylor Eichhorst. I'm the operations manager for JB Henderson Construction, based out of Albuquerque, but kind of travel across country.
Great. Welcome. Jason Espinosa. Jason, you are, oh, there you are.
Sorry, Jason actually had to step away to take a call, but he works with myself. I'm Rhonda Gilliland Lopez. I'm the executive director for the MCA SMACNA of New Mexico. He'll be back in just a minute. I'm in another breakout room trying to make that work, but he'll be right back.
Okay, thank you. And we do have two other people on here from PED. Jamie Cherry.
Hello, everyone. I work with John. I primarily work with dual credit and computer science IT initiatives.
And Veronica.
Hello, everybody. I don't know if you can hear me or not. I'm trying to keep my volume low because I'm out here in a lobby, but I'm here as well.
Thank you. All right. So in the next part, I'm trying to see in my chat room, I'm going to place a link in the chat room. It's for the Padlet. If you could click on it, open it up. This is where we'll be entering all of our comments and anything that we really need to talk about. Let me share my screen so that we see what we're popping up. Okay, so we'll be able to see everybody's comments as they're entered. Now, once you've opened it, you're going to see the two questions that Christian had initiated for us. We'll work for 10 minutes on the first one. If you want to insert a comment, click on the plus sign. Once you've entered your comment, click publish. Once it's published, it'll appear on the screen. So we're looking at the first question. What is the one thing that can be done to improve high school or post-secondary skilled trade programs? And again, this can be specific to your industry or what we see that we need to improve statewide. Looking at the data that was just presented by Denise, there's a lot of gaps in what we're looking at. And this is where we need your help. What can we do to help the high schools and the post-secondary align so that they can improve our skilled trades so that our industries can improve? So once you're linked in, if you wouldn't mind, click this plus sign, throw a comment in there. An option to college. So when we're talking about an option to college, are you talking about internships? Are you talking about apprenticeships?
Well, so that was my comment, John.
Okay.
I mean, basically, we need to educate the students that there is an option. They're not being informed. I think that is the number one issue.
Communication. By immediate gratification, and again, these are all anonymous, but if we talk about immediate gratification, are we talking about great pay? Are we talking about?
I think on the, I'll admit that was mine, is there needs to be some realism in saying, okay, as an engineer, when I went going, sure, eventually I could earn these dollars, but I'm going to start off down here and it's not immediate. And I'm not going to get the high rank corner office right off the bat. You know, I'm going to have to learn some things because while school is superb in giving you some of that basic structure, it still doesn't give you enough of truly the working on the time, the teamwork, the culture of the company, and etc. And you're just not going to get there right off the bat. And sometimes even once you have experience, if you're wanting to move somewhere else is going to be different. So I may not be saying that well, but that's what I'm intending.
I think you said it perfectly. Yeah, if you guys actually see a comment up here that we could talk about, by all means, unmute and ask about the comment.
Okay, if it's okay if I piggyback on that last comment. Yeah, I'm finding that the glamorization of being a white collar worker isn't quite there for some of the young people who are looking for that shiny new job. I've been in this industry for a very long time, and I started out making, I think, around $10 or $11 an hour. Make more than that now, and that was years ago. But God, I have a great life, and it's because of this industry. And I would like to relay some of that to high school students or younger people, that alternative to college and becoming just an engineer, that there are some things in between that are worth pursuing.
Great. Now that there's a comment in here, put skilled trades pathway on the same level as college pathway instead of a last resort option. That one intrigues me. I like that one. There. Put vocational education back in schools. That is primarily one of the things that we need industry to really open up and say that is an important one, and that one will absolutely be posted. Well, they'll all be posted. I didn't say that, but interfacing between schools and industry. Is this at whoever put that one in? That would be at both levels, both the secondary and the post-secondary levels.
So I put that in. I kind of stumbled on this while pursuing my own educational needs is that the engineering program provided right now at CNM includes a lot of electronics and math, science, and physics, which I do not know if industry on this end knows that that's what these students are coming out with, because they're looking for something different that's labeled different now.
Put skilled trade pathway instead of a last resort option. There's an interesting one. Skills trade. Do we feel that, and not me, do you feel that a lot of the workforce that are going into the skilled trades are doing that basically because that's their last course, their last resort option for a career or an income, or how?
I can say that when I came into the construction industry, I came in as a last resort. I messed up some other stuff and decided to do that instead of going to college, and I had to do college after the fact. But the problem that you have right now is I've seen so many teachers that talk about, you know, if you want to succeed in life, go get that college education. But that doesn't mean you're going to make money, and that doesn't mean you're going to enjoy what you do. I've got a lot of people that work for us as whether they're pipe fitters, carpenters, HVAC techs. We've got people that have master's degrees, but hated what they went to school for. So they decided to come into the construction industries after the fact, and it was just the right pick for them. But so many people looked down on it.
You know, and just to piggyback off that, Jim, when I went to school, I graduated in 1985. Yeah, I'm that old. We were strong. When we think back in the past, we were strong in vocational arts and stuff like that. When I began teaching, one of the big things that really upset me was everything became prepare your students for college. And I believe that's why I'm glad we're having this conversation. Is we're hurting ourselves in industry, and we're losing that power force. And you know, with you guys' words and what we're looking at, this will be a great thing to show schools, post-secondary, how we need to align all this interesting stuff. And I think that's great. So we have spent 10 minutes on this one. So let's go to question number 2. What can your company do to support programs in skilled trades, either in high school or post-secondary? Again, just drop in comments in there. If you've got something that you'd like to say out loud, by all means, again, this is being recorded. Big one, internships. School visits. Yep. Okay, who just dropped that one in? Who is somebody that has somebody that they're employed or their employers that go and teach at night?
We have quite a few folks here that actually teach at a couple of different places here in town at night.
Oh, great. Business tours, absolutely. That's a big one. I know one of the biggest things when I was teaching my engineering classes, my students would, they would do a job shadow day with an employer, whether it was Sandia, Lockheed, Boeing. They've done it with Bradbury Stam. That was one of the, I would say, the biggest eye openers for a lot of students, is that they get to go see what that profession is. Not that I think we can take them out to a construction site and shovel concrete, because I just don't see that one happening. But getting them out there, seeing the machines. I had my last year of teaching, I had a student that interned with an engineering firm in Albuquerque. And when he came back after that summer for his senior year, one of the things he told me is all the equipment that we had in our lab, they had in theirs. Obviously theirs was upgraded, but he knew how to use that equipment. And it impressed the industry. It made me happy to feel that I was doing a job that this student was going to go out there and be able to succeed. He's in college now, but you know, that job shadow, the business tours, the school visits are huge. I used to bring industry into Las Lunas High School all the time. That was, you know, one of my big things. Internships, absolutely. When we talked about work-based learning, internships, certificates, you know, you saw a slide that showed the type of certificates that were offered. Are there certificates that industry for you that you would require or would like to see as part of an offering from the state, from post-secondary or from high school? I wish I could pull that slide up again. We had
So-
NCCER.
One of the things that we've seen, so the piping local here in town, local 412, they actually have jurisdiction that goes New Mexico and Texas. And there's a school in El Paso that actually has their kids doing the plumbing at their school. So the kids learn how to be a plumber or pipe fitter or whatever they want to do. But then they also maintain a lot of the different equipment there. I mean, that could really help with some of the kids ripping everything off the walls these days.
You're absolutely right. We need to show them that. And you know, you're right. Get your hands in there, get dirty. Understand the physical, and I shouldn't say this in all of them, but the physical needs. I've had several nephews that go into construction and last a couple of weeks because it's hard. It's not a simple thing to do. I was a hawk carrier for 3 years in high school for my 3 summers, and I loved it. I think about it still. I kind of miss it, but you learn real quick how much energy you have to exert, how strong you have to literally get, not mentally, only mentally, but physically as well. And the only way to figure that out is to get your hands in there and get dirty.
I would agree with all those comments. One of the things that I heard you mention earlier is that you had brought in people from Lockheed Martin, Sandia. When I was growing up in this area, Sandia was like the golden egg. And it still kind of gets pushed as that when there's a lot of smaller companies, startups, and there's somebody that came to town now is Kairos, who are working on building small nuclear fission generators.
Wow.
And they're looking for technicians and machinists. And there's a long list of these small companies that are coming to New Mexico that might want to tap into some of these schools.
Absolutely. And, you know, we need to make the connections. And I think, you know, we're all in different regions. You saw the region map. If you need to, again, when the recordings are done, we're going to send them out. Help us, you know, contact me, contact somebody at PED. We'll definitely put them on the right place with the right schools, with the right post-secondary. That's basically what we do. Help create that relationship, which is what I'm hoping we get a lot done here today as well. So we're going to be jumping out of here in about 5 minutes. One of the things we have to figure out, who's going to be our volunteer to report out. Okay, everybody smiles and muted themselves. That's not cool. Wait a minute. Come on, volunteer. I'm writing a name down. Oh, come on.
Go for the voluntold.
I do have to jump out at 1, otherwise I would more than be happy to do that.
Anybody else? Jim, would you like to?
No, I really wouldn't.
How about Sarah?
I lost my mouse. I don't think you want me to do it. I would not be very good at communicating what you've all shared here.
I can do it. Thanks, dear.
You got it, Jim?
Yes, sir. One of the other things that we that might be something that would help. You were talking about having, I think, nephews or something that went into the trades and lasted a couple of weeks. That's one of the biggest problems that we have is we bring in a lot of young kids, and sometimes they have no work ethic. I mean, I hate to say it, but I really prefer to try to seek out those FFA kids, the farm kids that are used to working.
Yep. And, you know, again, that's a huge thing. And, you know, even when I was a teacher, I used to tell these kids, you know, you can be the smartest person in the world, but if you don't have a work ethic, I didn't say you're not going to succeed, but it's going to be harder to succeed.
Absolutely.
And, you know, that work ethic is a monster, and it's a beast on a lot of our backs. You know, that's a huge one, and that's one we have to tackle. It's just going to be hard. Is what the way I look at it.
Well, I have to jump out at one. Thank you, everybody, for showing up, and thanks for the invite. John, if I was interested in going to visit one of these schools or something like that, how do I go about doing something like that?
You can get a hold of me or contact the school, contact the principal. That's usually the best way. If you need help doing that, contact somebody at PED, somebody from CCRB. We'll be more than happy to help you.
Right.
We'll be putting all of our emails in the chat, but I'm gonna put mine in here right now for you so that you can.
Appreciate it. It sounds like everybody has a kind of the same things about, they're just not, I don't know how you teach kids at home to work. I can't go to everybody's house and become a parent to teach kids to work. So it sounds like everybody's kind of on the same page with that. So it's good to hear that I'm not the only one. Thank you.
Well, that's what we wanted to hear. There is a balance somewhere within that we're missing. And it sounds like everybody that spoke or said anything in here is absolutely on the same page, asking for the same stuff, looking for the right employers or kids or young adults to employ. My email is in there. Veronica Sanders also dropped hers in. Jamie Cherry also dropped hers in. We all work for PET. So if you've got anything, any questions, by all means, shoot me an email. And if I can't help you, I'll put you with the right person. Same thing that Jamie or Veronica would do. If we can't answer it, and more than likely, we'll be shooting you back to Denise because this is where she's the master at. So again, the breakout room, I think, is going to end here, and I'm going to stop share. Yeah, I think we've got about a minute left. So if you want to, guys, go ahead and start leaving this room, and we'll all meet back in the main room. Thank you for everything. I really do appreciate the conversations we had. I'll see you in the main room.